Hey everyone, so in this video we are going to take a look at how to paint and apply textures to an object in Blockbench. Blockbench is an easy and free to use 3D modeler. I already have a separate tutorial showing you how to create models, so I'm not going to repeat that. I don't want to waste anyone's time, and we can get right into painting. If you do want to see a tutorial about creating a model, there are other videos in this playlist. So, as I've mentioned before, the workflow is in the upper right corner. We're currently in Edit, and we'll click on Paint. And now what we're going to do is the first thing you have to do is you have to add a texture. You can either import a texture that already exists, or you can create a new one from scratch. We're going to create a new one from scratch. So we're going to click on Create Texture. We're going to accept all the defaults, and then we're just going to click on Confirm, and our new texture shows up here. As you can see, each one of these images corresponds, to one of the facings. So you have like the green facing here, so that's that one. This green facing is that one. The gray on the bottom is that one, so on and so forth. Okay, so we're going to go through a few of the tools, and most of these tools you can either use directly in the workspace, or you can directly modify the image up here and it'll change the corresponding facing here. So I guess it just depends how you like to work. With this one, if you're painting on different sides, you're going to be constantly rotating around, whereas all the images are available directly here. Now, because there's so many images, it's really difficult to use this in its default size of 100%. So you're going to want to zoom in. So if you hold the control key and then scroll the scroll wheel, a couple clicks, and then we'll just adjust with the scroll bars. You've now zoomed in a bit. Now, you certainly can zoom in much more than that, and then you can just resize this window so that you have more room to draw. So just wanted to let you know that you can either, again, draw directly in the workspace or on the images in the upper left corner. And you'll see that as you modify one, the corresponding one will change too. So let's start with draw shape, and then there's 4 shapes you can draw. There's the rectangle hollow, the ellipse, and the ellipse hollow. So what we're going to do is I made this object basically to look like kind of like a house. So you've got the 4 walls, kind of a roof. Now I'm not going to make the whole tutorial make this look like a house, but I'll use it for this one tool. So let's select a color. It's already selected black. So let's take the hollow rectangle, and what we'll do is we'll left click, hold, drag, and basically we're going to make a little doorway. Now we're going to fill this with the door. Now technically you could use the paint bucket, but since I'm showing you this tool, I don't want to jump around. So we'll change to solid rectangle, and we'll just select like a brownish color, and then again left click, drag. And so that fills it in because now you're using, again, the filled rectangle. And then you can do the same thing with the circle. And you could also do this with the windows. Now, if you don't want to try to get the exact same color, you could always use the color picker. So say I want the black color, we'll just grab that, and that's pretty standard with paint programs. And then we'll just come back to draw shape, and then like you could say, do a window. I'm probably not going to get this right where it breaks up nice and evenly. And then you could just like draw panes within that. Actually, I did get it right, I think. Yep, everything's 3 by 3. And now you have like nice little windows. Again, you probably wouldn't use this for a game. This is really too simple, but this is just meant to show you the tools. And some of these tools have some certain subsettings. So for instance, here you can see size is 1. So this is 1 in each direction, 1 deep, one width, 1 height. So if we change this to say 3, and we just come to another side, and we draw, you can see it's now 3 deep, 3 wide. And you can also change opacity. So it starts as 255. And watch what happens when you do this. So now, rather than completely blacking it out, you now have this, basically the color that you're drawing is translucent onto the color beneath it. So you're getting this combined color is what's happening. And we're not going to mess around with the blend mode in this one. That would be more of an advanced tutorial. Now, next tool we'll look at is the eraser, because maybe you don't want this stuff. Now, true, you could just do edit and do undo, but say it's like you've done other stuff that you don't want to undo, and then you notice that this is a mistake. Well, you can just use the eraser. And again, you have size, opacity, softness. So if I do this, you can see it is just one block at a time. And you can see that you can see straight through because of the eraser being set to fully translucent. Now, if we change this, what you're going to do is you're going to make what you're erasing lighter rather than completely erased. So if I do this, you can see that it's still kind of there, but it's not as dark, but it's definitely somewhat translucent. And again, this setting is on multiple of the tools. And then you can also change the size. You could do, say, 3. Let's put this back up to full opacity, and then you can just erase. Okay. Now let's go to the paint bucket. And then with the paint bucket, you have an option that's not available for the other one, and that is just like other paint programs, the paint bucket can work in a few different ways. So you can fill an entire facing. Let me just click on the drop down arrow. You can fill the entire facing. You can do connected colors. That's often what you use in a paint program. That way you don't just erase everything. And that's something that I'll show you the difference one. So this is probably the one tool you have to be careful of whether you're working here or here. So let's just take another color over here and say you want to paint this, okay? Well, if you have it on facing, it paints the whole thing. If you try painting over here, it wipes out everything. So if you're using the paint can up here, you have to be very careful what setting you have. So more than likely, you'd probably want to choose either element or connected color, depending what you're trying to do. So if you do connected color, then that's probably more what you're looking for. And we'd probably actually use yellow rather than the blue color. So again, we'll click on our color picker. We'll grab yellow, and then we will go back to our paint bucket. It's still set to connected color, and we'll do that. But you can indeed paint the whole side. Like I said, if you have this set to face, then you paint the whole side. Okay, so we've gone through a bunch already. Let's look at the paintbrush. So the paintbrush, the pixel brush, basically you already looked at the ability to draw a shape. Now you can do like a pixel by pixel drawing. So this is basically freehand. So rather than having a predefined shape, this is freehand. So let's just take another color. And then as you can see, it's freehand. You can also, again, change size and also opacity. So again, it gives you like this kind of combined color between them. Okay, I think that's about it for this tutorial. I just wanted this to be an introduction to how you begin to paint. So in this case, we created a brand new texture from scratch. We use most of the tools, we use most of the settings on those tools. So I think that should about do it. So if you're interested, I can do a separate tutorial for importing of a texture, as well as some of the other options with creating a new texture from scratch, because we didn't mess with any of the options there. So if you want a more advanced tutorial, just let me know. I guess leave a comment. I usually don't ask for that, but at this point, as I've mentioned before, the channel is no longer monetized, so I kind of only want to do content if you guys really want it. So if you do want that, if you do want additional tutorials, please do leave a comment and or a like, either one. And I guess that should about do it. So I hope you enjoy this, and please do enjoy the rest of your day.